Hi, y'all. This is Talk to Me. I'm Lacey, the High Priestess. This is therapy time. I talk about whatever. Sometimes I talk to people through here. Sometimes I talk about my life. I talk about situations. I talk about stuff. I want to do something cool today, but I'm going to wait a little bit. I think I got 6 more minutes. If people are, if it goes the way I want it to go in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Can you hear that? Can you hear that? When you start paying attention to the sounds around you, you start knowing what everything is. You'll be able to see a schedule. You'll notice a schedule on people. You'll notice certain sounds. Synchronicity. There's a lot of things I want to talk about, but I'm going to wait here a second. I'm going to wait a second. I'm kind of muy excited if this is going to go through. I was watching this thing about couples. Man, I was watching a lot of things today, actually. I want to go from this to that to this to that. But I need to wait. I'm a little excited. I need to wait. I feel like maybe I should have got on. No, but I kind of want to be already on and ready. I want to have a good conversation. A good conversation. That's what I like doing, is bringing good conversation to the table. Things we need to think about. Things that we need to hear. Have you ever heard different things at once and was able to receive messages in different places all at once? Do you know, as humans, we are teachable if we want to be? It's all in the state of mind. Do you want to be free from the state of mind that you're in? You have to think outside your brain. You have to seek beyond what you see in front of you. I have always said knowledge is power, but imagination is limitless. And I got that from a certain person that believes in quantum physics. And he's like a scholar in his shit. I can't remember his name. I just be watching too many things. Too many. I guess old age is getting to me now. It's finally hitting, folks. Lacey's old. I should be getting ready to go out, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go out. I'm too old for that. I'm not going to be competing against you young females. You win, I lose. Okay? I'm not running anywhere. I'm not doing shit. Pay your bills and be broke. Okay? Oh, gosh. Yeah, 3 more minutes. Let me see. I want to save this for the conversation I'm going to have right now. Okay. I'll put that on. I'll call you in 3 minutes. Okay. Cosmic Cloud. Let me fix something on here. There we go. I feel like a DJ. I feel like a DJ. I'm DJing right now. I'm really excited to have a conversation of so many things as much as I could fit it. One more minute. I'll turn this off. Exchange of knowledge. Let me get a little drink before I get into this. Muy excited. Today's Selena's birthday. Did you guys know that? Happy birthday to Selena. Shout out to their whole family. You know, she was a great icon in Lisi the High Priestess's life. Shout out to Selena. Shout out to the women that have black hair and red lipstick. Shout out to you, Selena fans. Beady Beady Bom Bom. Shout out to you. Big fan. Big fan. Always will be. Selena, R.I.P. R.I.P. Okay. Let me Hi.
Hi. Hello.
We got Cosmic Cloud on the line. Okay, so he's a really dear friend of mine, and he's actually a spiritualist. And we were having all kinds of conversations when we had a meetup. And I wanted to invite him so we can have a chat on my live. And because it's kind of cool to talk to another person that is on like that cosmic level, if you get me, cosmic cloud level.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
yes. And so I wanted to talk about certain topics. And since he is very much skilled on a lot, like, yeah, Lisi the High Priestess, but man, shout out to anyone out there that has that great energy that you were born with those kinds of gifts. Shout out to you, and you use them for positive things. But anyways, moving forward, um, I wanted to know your input on remote viewing. What is
Yeah.
your definition, and how is it commonly used nowadays?
Well, remote viewing is it's a psychic ability, but it's a structured methodology of downloading raw information from what we call the matrix or the collective unconscious, as some people know. And it's using your natural ability that we all have when you're born. You're born with intuition and instinct, and but we harness that ability in a rigorous protocol, a step-by-step process, so that you're able to uh, focus your attention. You know, we don't actually go anywhere. Like, people think it's out of body or astral travel, but it's actually, we turn our attention to a specific target, and it can be.
All right, let's not teach them. Let's not teach them. Because we teach the wrong crowd. We got to remember in lessons of Hitler, for those that need Hitler, and there's certain countries that used remote, that control remote viewing, and it's
China, they've been doing this for
many years. And
yes.
And we were having a conversation. I was having a conversation with him about this kind of knowledge. And I was telling him there's a lot of people out here in the world that start to dabble with things and don't know what to do with their gifts. And then they start manipulating it and doing it to other people. And that's, I was telling you, remember, I go, and that's when it turns into witchcraft. That's when we see the energy vampires. And that's when people learn a person and they use their intuition, because remote viewing to me too can happen very much from a person to another person, not just a country, not just a nation, not just on TV, but on every single day basis with the person. We project on them to see what they like, what they have in front of them.
Right. I've tried to teach people for my groups, a matrix intelligence group, with very little success, but not because they're bad people. It's just that it requires you to be fully attentive, you know?
Yes.
And some of the people, well, you know, it's nothing against people who smoke marijuana. It's just that when you smoke that on a regular basis, it makes your theta with brainwaves.
My friend, I just smoked a joint. But it's okay for us, right? It's okay, right?
It's fine. It's a natural plant. I'm just saying that when you do this work, it requires you to be at. It's like, okay, try to imagine this. You're in class doing an algebra math problem while you're trying to hold a conversation, or you're trying to drive as you're looking for an address and you're shifting into third gear. You are, in a sense, you are what do you call it? Bilocating. You are multitasking, and you have to have a powerful level of concentration. You cannot be wavering, and your theta brainwave, your alpha brainwave state, all of it has to be top notch.
But it can't be possible because I've seen that movie, The Gambler, and this is I think, based on a true story on that chess. And she was addicted. They had her at a very young age, addicted to pills. They had her addicted to pills at a very young age because she was born like in the 60s. And then she met the man that lived downstairs and he taught her how to play chess. But she used to take these pills. And at night, she used to, what we would say, remote viewing on top of her her ceiling and play on the book that was given to her.
Okay, yeah. That is a different type of psychic functioning, and when I teach this, I make sure to clarify to people that this is a controlled way of, you're just directing your attention at something, right? Rather than downloading a book or information or having a vision or even astral traveling. It's a very different thing because you are in control of it. Whereas when you're an actual psychic and you're walking down the mall and you have flashes of this and flashes of that, and all of a sudden you have this horrible vision of somebody getting hurt or something, a store being broken into or whatever.
Just hold it there for a second. Do you think that these medicines are put out to block our psyche?
I believe that, I don't know. I think that there's some of it is intentional, but a lot of it is. It's just that when you eat junk food and you're breathing in, obviously air pollution and all that stuff, it's going to affect your brain. Yes, it's going to block.
And marijuana gives you the munchies, right? Marijuana gives you the munchies.
Yeah, but you don't have to eat
you eat the donuts, the evil donut.
You can eat some kale donuts.
Listen, my dear friend, I ate 2 donuts. Yes, I did. Those evil donuts. The Girl Scout cookie women got me. Those little girls, they're out there doing the devil's work. I'm just joking. I'm joking. Shout out to the Girl Scouts. Big fan.
I have a weak spot for some sweets. I have to admit. I was just at Vinny's a little bit ago, and I'm like, they don't have my coconut pinwheels or whatever they called. And so I grabbed a chocolate donut. I said, this will go good for my coffee later on, but it's all about balance, it really is. And
it is. I can honestly say that it really is because we can't go into depth in every single conversation, but I was thinking that, because I wasn't smoking weed for a while, and then I decided to take a break, and I started to smoke some weed, and I was like, I need a mental break. I was like, so smoking weed, but coming with smoking weed comes the evil donut. And this son of a bitch is evil as fuck. He's in every corner. He has 2 eyes. Usually you see that evil eye with the blue and everything. No, it's a glazed donut.
Yeah.
And it's a portal. Do you think it's a portal? Do you think a donut is a fucking portal? It's as a zero, like the evil eye. There's a portal to the donuts.
Yeah, I hear you. I have fallen to that evil donuts before, and
They're
you know,
real.
it's like anything else. So it is like anything else. Too much of one thing could be a bad thing.
Yeah.
Even, you know, if you drink too much water, you'll die. Cause, you know, you'll flush out all your minerals out of your system and electrolytes. So,
Right.
you know, but yeah, I mean, attention is such an important thing. You know, to use these tools. People have asked me a lot about this. Hey, is this spiritual? Is this you're messing with the devil stuff? You did. But they're just uneducated about it. They don't.
Amen. Know. Okay, no, rewind. Say what you just said right now. They are just uneducated. You know, and it does not matter how intelligent you are. Spirituality, quantum physics, all of that is a whole different level than religion, than even coming from money. You can't buy this kind of knowledge.
No, you can't.
You can't buy this kind of energy. You cannot.
I grew up in church, and I know, like, people assume that.
I love church, though. I love church. I donate.
Yeah.
I donate.
I'm all for that. I'm all for spiritual growth, but like you said, you knocked it out of the ballpark when you said religion, because all religion is humans trying to bring the macrocosm to the microcosm. You know, we're trying to understand God, but we can never understand God. We're human, right? So, but I believe that you know, people judge because of out of fear, like
and change. They fear change. Yeah, they fear growth. They fear knowledge. Yeah. They fear an actual connection nowadays.
Bingo.
That's why you know, you going and searching, because my friend here, he goes to certain places and he checks out, you know, because he deals a lot with frequency, you know, quantum physics, all of that. Anyone that is involved in it. Shout out to anyone out there. Cosmic Cloud on Facebook. I'm like, he has a lot of knowledge, and it will make us feel like we're weird for anybody that's like me and like him. But now that we're living in the days of internet, okay, you're going to find there's a lot more people like you than you know. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about how ego plays out in this remote viewing type of energy, people who are involved with each other, that play with each other's psyche, about the bad and the good. Because when I had met with him, we had a meeting, I had told him, I said, there is people that will play like they're there to help you, but they're really there to take from you, or to learn what you know, and then they use it out for their own, which is not no shade, because we are aliens. We're going to find clones. You're going to find a less watered down version of you. Their job is to imitate you, to pretend to be like you. They're meant to stray you away from your purpose. They're there for disguise, incognito, and it comes in many forms. And they come, and some people will look at it as energy, some people will look at it as spirits, and some people would say it's demons, some people would say it's angels. We have a lot of people saying a lot of things. And the beautiful thing about YouTube, social media, is that now we can actually communicate with each other. At one point, the only way that we could talk about this was if we had AOL, okay, Apple, and your phone used to ring a certain way, and magazines and sacred books that would sell out. It was secret society. We're no longer in a secret society, so we can talk about this. So my question is to you: how do you feel when someone abuses the gifts that were given to them, to manipulate love, to manipulate for money, to manipulate for the lower vibrational things of this world? And do you believe there's consequences to that?
I do, and I've seen it happen in my life. I have a lot of experience in that, and I can tell you that when I was in high magic in my early years, I learned this. This is a very valuable lesson. People should listen up. Mm-hmm. It's just like electricity. Electricity is not evil or bad. It can be used to cook your food, warm your house, start up your car, you know, listen to music, but it can also be used to electrocute someone, to kill someone, to cause a fire.
Mm.
So it's the will, it's the intention behind the person, it's the mind, the personality. Remote viewing is just a tool. So just like a hammer, you can pick it up and build a house, or you can knock someone off the head.
Mm.
You know, that's what it's just a tool, and people don't realize it. That this is not new age. This is not wishful thinking and fantasy. And so said this, and I had this vision that blah blah blah. No, this is just a systematic, rigid, systematic way of. In fact, you and I both do the tarot cards.
Yeah.
That is an ancient form of remote viewing. Only the pictures are already drawn out for you, and you're using your intuition. If you,
It's what we would like to say, and I mean this. We gamble our divinity, and we just happen to have a probability that's higher than other people. Anybody can pick up a deck of cards. Your probability of it being correct is very high and very low, depending where you're at, your setting. My probabilities are more likely, for example, because I do worldwide. My probability of being right is a lot is high.
And plus, you're like me. We read energy. We don't just read the cards. Like we just lay down the cards. We could lay down the cards on the table, and people can look at them. Oh, look at that.
No, and I read on chapter 38 that it says that the moon means this, and you're trying to describe to them what you see, because for some of us, it talks to us differently, depending. And I really believe it's a sacred form, and I believe it's like a lot of things are starting to become watered down. So it's a blessing when other people use different methods and using their divinity. That shout out to TikTok. TikTok is very big on that platform where they have other people that read stones, and they give you different kind of knowledge, and they like their own trajectory on certain knowledge. It'd be dope as hell. I'll be finding out a lot of things on TikTok. Shout out to TikTok. But no, I'm serious. But then again, we have things where there is people teaching people how to do witchcraft, do love spells, do money spells, and worldwide.
Oh, I have a lot to say about that.
And I really, yes, I do too. I just respectfully, I don't hate on nobody's craft. I just know that there's some things that need to be taught from a person to person than versus to the masses. There's a lot of things out here in this world. We're talking about control viewing, and we're talking about evil people and good people. There's people out here that can heal, and there's people that can out here and destroy you. And it's being watered down into the media where people are watching this remote viewing. Do you know remote viewing is also us watching each other on TV? It's a remote viewing.
Yeah, you're somewhere else watching somebody else that's across the country or whatever. Yeah.
Through frequency.
Yes, because you're watching it on the TV and through the airwaves. Yeah.
And so, those TikTok things, they're teaching people how to. I mean, and there's no shade to them. I guess their purpose is to do that. But can you imagine how many people are under somebody's trance because they have no faith? They don't believe in nothing. They're still lost. They're still closed-minded to what is really happening, the frequency that you actually feel, the energy you have when.
Well, look at it this way. Look at the news media. People are, you know what it is? It's hypnosis. They're giving you suggestions on the radio, other ads, the TV ads. Those are a bunch of suggestions. That's all hypnosis is, and you believe it. Like, how do you spell relief? The first thing everybody says, Rolaids. They're conditioned. So that's an example. They're using in a person who has low self-esteem is easy to manipulate.
Yes.
So that's one thing. The other one is people who have less hope, which is half the country right now. They're easy to manipulate.
Yes.
And you could say, well, we'll give you a free
get them in the state of panic, right?
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is if we can actually do this, then we can actually do the opposite effect as well. We can give out hope to people. We can heal people. We can make them not depressed. We could be more kind. We can unite. We can actually find a solution to our problems. And I feel like because we like to keep ourselves We like to keep ourselves
Yeah.
in the past. People live in the past a lot.
Here's the deal, though. We can do all of that you're saying. I believe in it. But here's one thing that stops me from helping a lot of people is that deep down they don't want the help.
I was about to say that. Okay.
See?
They don't, you can't help someone that doesn't want to be helped. Remember, we are talking about that, and he said, you got to let them grow. You got to let them heal. You got to let them go.
It's really hard when you love the person and you care so much about them, and you see that, hey, if only she
potential.
would let me. Yes, you see it, and to you it's easy, but to them they're like, no, you know why? Because they're afraid to get out of their comfort zone.
Because it's hard for people to dive outside where the unknown is at. The unknown is for the stars. That's why they're up there in the sky to light us up when we're lost.
And some people have an ego issue. They say, no, if they allow you to come into their space and heal them, I mean, they don't.
You're mine forever. You can never talk to another person, or if somebody else goes off and heals them differently. Oh, well, I could do better, and then eventually they start chanting different things, and it's like, why do we have to have those kind of egos? Why is And I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm perfect, because I'm not. I've had ego trips, and I had to humble myself.
Oh, same here. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we all do. We all have ego. I'm not saying it's bad to have ego. It's just to check on it, make sure it doesn't grow as big as New York City.
Yeah, because it gets people start making some serious money when it comes down to this. That's why some people in the South are known for when they catch the Holy Ghost and people start falling out and all that. Going into that, it's even in religion.
Yeah, it is. It is, and it says in the Bible, in the last days, you will see churches grow cold because ego and money and fame and ego at the base of all problems is ego and selfishness. Why do we have this kind of government?
It's in religion, it's in institution, and it's in the occult, and the occult is what we do. That's what me and my friend Cosmic Cloud, that's what we do. We're in the unknown. We're on the forbidden. We're in the line that it doesn't have structure. It falls just like in religion. They have Jehovah's Witnesses, they have Mormons, they have Christians, Catholics, and
Buddhists.
Just a lot more. And every single line of everything, it just doesn't seem like it fits the norm, but it's norm to someone. If you go to Latin America, what we do is very much the city appreciates it. You're treated a lot more different than out here. But out here they want you more depending on the kind of work that you're allowed to talk about and the kind of work that you're not. I see a lot of tarot readers nowadays that they I honestly feel like some things should not be taught because of ego. I feel like ego should be, I feel like experience should teach certain people certain recipes as they go. What do you think about that?
Totally agree with it. I was talking to a friend about how when I got into high magic many years ago, there was the guy, he was a real magician. And this guy could levitate with his mind. He could do things. And he was young, and he told me, Alex, the reason why most people can't do this stuff is because of their ego, and they lust after the power and they want to show off and do things. But there's a special mechanism, a defense mechanism, or a governor that prevents us from doing that. Because if you're not ready spiritually, I mean, just imagine what would happen if we could actually turn lead into gold. The economy would crash, right? Same with anything else. I mean, your intention has everything to do with it, and is it in accordance to the will of God?
And listen, and this is how I will tell you that we know a lot of the masses are lost. Look at the most highest viewed videos. It has something to do with brutality, with hate, like doing something that ain't got nothing uplifting. They got the highest views ever. That just comes to show you that's ego right there. That's ego. And these people, and then they have people in the masses teaching this to people who watch things like that.
And what breaks my heart too is that I've had people deny healing because I'm a man, and they don't want a man heal them, or because I'm not black, or because I'm not Democrat, or whatever, right?
Well, yeah, because it's a lot about, because the Africans, they like to go to their African doctors. Y tú sabes la raza de nosotros, curadores. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, but there is sometimes that women just prefer to be with women, speaking as a woman, versus to a man doing it. And I guess it could be a little bit sexist, but then, oh, I just watched a documentary about the sex Buddhist, okay, out there in the Middle East, and he's on the run for abducting a child. I don't know, and he became. They had guns and everything. It was just like a big old cult, not a cult, a cult, just CULT,
Yes.
and
Oh, man,
that's
terrible.
and it's things like that that will give out a reputation on someone that actually can heal.
And that is how the entity we know
Ego.
as Satan works, is through the ego and through tarnishing a movement, a spiritual movement like that, to bring other people down. That's the way evil works. It's if you're doing a good job in the community, well, and that they can tarnish your name, that means that they'll cause your followers to lose faith in God because of you, what you did. Oh, she got caught smoking a joint.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's terrible. Or she got caught stealing, or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything, all of a sudden,
everything I did. Everything I did as a kid. Oh my gosh.
But it's true, isn't it?
It is true. It's true. Yes, it did happen to me.
So 10 million positives is not even close to that one negative.
Amen. No, and people will hold that against me. When I started my channel, I said, I'm going to be honest about things that have happened in my life. And if you're going to stone it, then I'll take it now. But ain't nobody going to get fucking paid for nothing, nothing at all to me, because this is my life story. I could talk about it. It's different, when you have that kind of shit to hide.
Yeah, well, your personal testimony has inspired many people. I'll tell you. I mean, like, your experience is yours. It's a personal. Your relationship with God is personal. Who am I to say you're doing it wrong?
The 12 apostles were crazy people.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just anybody that needs to hear that, it was like Lil Wayne, Drake. Back in the day, it was Vicente Fernandez and Jose Luis. I don't know. It was the 12 zodiac signs. I mean, just and actually, shout out to Jesus. Okay, wherever Jesus is at right now, the spirit of Jesus, anybody catching the Holy Ghost tonight? Okay, because tomorrow he's in the cave. I think tomorrow he goes in the man cave. I'm not joking. Everybody thinks I'm not playing. Jesus be coming through. He's coming through tomorrow. Imagine being celebrated by having eggs being put everywhere. Do you think the egg might represent the cave like a hole?
No, it's
actually they say Easter is actually evil. I was like,
it's not evil. It's just you have to understand all the things that they mixed, all the paganism and Christianity. It's all a mixed bunch.
It really is.
Evil.
It really is.
I mean, look, fertility. I mean, the egg also represents mind, body, and soul. The Trinity. There's so many meanings. For me to say that guy's evil because he believes differently and he's eating a chocolate egg.
How dare him eat a chocolate egg?
Yeah, like, I didn't do anything. I didn't celebrate anything today. I acknowledge. I believe. With Jesus was like the greatest teacher that walked the earth.
I believe he was a very amazing healer.
He was, and his teachings were simple, but we messed it up. We got
and Jesus had a temper on him. No shade, Jesus. I need you to drive my car. Okay. No shade, Jesus. No shade. Okay. I'm going to need you to turn that water into gas, baby. That's what I'm going to need it to do. Okay. Whatever you got to do, Jesus, I fucks with you. Okay. Shout out to Jesus. Okay. That's the homeboy. Okay. That's the homie. That's the OG. Well, Jesus, he comes out of that rock, fly as fuck as always, and I was looking at this meme that were saying, so Jesus was the only white guy with a bunch of black people around him.
Well, actually, he was a bronze dude.
He
a
was.
Eastern.
He
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
He was. I actually have Jesus and the 12 disciples on my kitchen, and they're all black.
Yeah, yeah.
They're dark skinned. It's crazy. I was looking at it and I was thinking, I was like, Passover is here. I'll go, and people paint him differently, but I don't really care because I feel like it's the same person. Like, I think it's funny that, they perceive him as white when he's really dark, but I feel like Jesus comes to all of us in different shades.
Yeah, I mean, he never talked about race. Like that was not a thing for him. I mean,
but don't be selling shit on Sunday at church.
Hey, man.
Hey, Jesus had a whip on him. Jesus had a whip on him, and he'll whip your ass. And he catches your ass selling his shit in the church. And that's another thing that I wanted to talk to you about. How do you feel about people selling their divinity?
How do you even do that? I don't understand. How do you sell your divinity?
Well, when people, like for example, when I'm like online, if I'm telling people I'll do $25 a read, $50 for a cleanse.
Oh, you mean, okay, you are providing a service which would fall under counseling. So, okay, when people go to the doctor or to the pharmakia, the real sorcerer,
the bad guy, the real bad guy. No, I'm just playing. We're just having conversation, and this is just allegedly. Okay, we have to cover our asses.
I don't want to be thrown into Facebook jail.
No, I don't want to be in Facebook jail. I don't want to be on YouTube jail. None. I don't want them making up stories that I have a sex cult or something.
I know, right?
No, I don't need that bullshit. I just gave them an idea how to fuck me over.
This is what I want to stress to everyone out there who are entrepreneurs and people like us who are spiritualists, spiritual-minded people, loving people, is that you have a gift of reading energy, of a psychic, dream interpretation, whatever it may be, or all of the above. You have the right. You're not. I used to think this when I was much younger, that you were prostituting your talent or your gift, but it's not that. You have a right to make a living too. You have to eat too, right?
Yes.
So when people go to McDonald's or to the doctor, they don't say, "I'm not going to pay for this because you're doing good deeds."
Right.
Right. So
McDonald's is a bad example because I was like, you don't go to McDonald's. Go home, cook your food. Okay, yeah. Make them kids a real meal.
Beans and rice, bro. But
yeah, unos tacos. Feed the kids.
But what I'm saying is that when people pay for a product or service, they don't look at the people funny, the companies or whoever's providing those products and services, right?
But Jesus didn't like that. Jesus didn't like that. He didn't like people. But listen to me. After that, it was made to call to donate to the church. It's like the rules changed.
Tithing. And
so it's very important to distinguish one or the other. Donations is what they choose to give to you from the quality of your work versus to putting a set pricing. Wouldn't that be a loophole, my friend?
Again, it goes back to the intention of the people. What is your intention? If you hear, for example, if I have an album of music and I say, this is what I wanted to do, instead of putting $18.99 or $14.99, I say, why don't you just pay what you feel in your heart for this piece of art? The money goes back to recoup the cost of duplication and production of this, and I'm probably going to make another album, and people want that. So you're going to donate. Most of the time, they donate more than I would have charged for the CD. So I think in that respect, it's good. But when you set a price for something, here's my entrepreneur part of me speaking, okay? And I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but you should always charge for your time. When you're paying $2,000 for my service, my consultation, or whatever price I have, you're paying for all the years of experience and hundreds of hours that I put in to learn to do what I do best. And Just like when you go to a mechanic, you're like, man, but it only took you like an hour to put that new starter in, and the starter's only $60, and you're like, well, 300 is a lot, but you know that guy has to eat and feed his family too, the company, right? So that's what I'm saying. Don't undersell yourself. Don't rip yourself off by giving away your time, because the time is really priceless. But
amen to that. See, for example, with Lisi, I don't do personal readings.
Yeah,
I don't. I do my general readings because I enjoy my peace. And like he said, that price to have something like it, you got to be a really good friend.
Yeah.
Or someone or really in need, because sometimes I do believe in karma. I believe that sometimes when you do things out of the heart, it does come back to you. But also that's why I do not promote like doing $25 or anything like that. And sometimes I just say it just to see if they will do it.
Yeah.
Because if they don't even take that, then they can't even take what you say that it's real. They take free information from you.
Yeah, that's true. See, it's kind of a catch-22 sometimes. That's why I say, look, I always used to say, like back in the day when I had my
it's like doing a free reading for Obama versus to someone that they don't really care about you, and they're not, because you do know the line of work that we do, we get to have very important people that come and talk to us.
Yeah, I've had
I mean, we don't, it's important not to be telling to secrecy, because when you're doing things like this that is sacred of the occult, and you're constantly telling somebody else's business, targeting them, saying their actual name on the platform and putting things, people get offended.
Well, it's supposed to be private. Client, practitioner.
Because I have seen people on the internet, high priestesses, mention another high priestess's business and run their whole name down to the ground. And it's just like that goes back to play with ego. That also goes back to play with people that they're taking advantage of their divinity. That also goes back to play that people are actually getting readings done by these kind of people.
That's why I'm very careful as to. I've turned down a lot of people.
So so between me and you, we both know it's not worth it to do a $25 reading or a $50 cleanse, right?
I don't personally like to do that myself. Like, I'm not against anyone that does it, but I just feel like if I'm going to do it for a close friend of mine, it's between us, and it doesn't have to. They don't need to pay me. Like, I don't.
Yeah, because it's so different when it's your family and friends. That energy, yeah, because we as spiritual practitioners, most of us don't keep around a large crowd all the time. Shout out to you if you can, though, because I believe there's a lot of mediums that they can have crowds and they can go and talk to different people. I'm like, oh my goodness, lady, do you rest at night?
Yeah, I know someone like that personally. He's a phenomenal, lovely guy, psychic from Vancouver, and he helps people find closure with lost loved ones. He's a medium, and he actually discovered his gift by accident. Like, he wasn't even trying. He never even believed in that stuff, and yet he's one of those actual chosen ones, I should say. But yeah,
we make it look easy though. Because I'll tell you something right now. Because when there's someone in the room with a crowd of people and they're choosing people out, when they're done doing their show, it takes a lot of mental rest.
Yes.
It does. You'll need some rest. You need to eat certain foods. Like, I believe that I'm not doing too much tarot because I've been smoking some weed and the evil donut has been haunting me down.
Well,
and see, thank God I'm so talented that I'm just like, I really don't need to do tarot. I could have a decent conversation with someone else on my show, and talk about real things that people are really doing out here, because we're entering, I believe we're entering a new era where it's the IE era, it's the Star Wars era, it's the era of complete change. The old ways will be set aside. In order to progress, we have to move forward. And although people are looking, oh, it's an apocalypse, these things have to change because people don't get it.
Yeah.
People don't get it. People just do not get the fucking hints. They're doing love spells. My friend, they're doing love spells from TikTok.
Love spells, I tell people you gotta be careful. I've seen that happen, turn into a bloody mess.
Oh gosh, I've experienced a love spell on me, and let me tell you, it was not. People think it's a fucking game. People have actually died from doing this, from doing those things.
Not only that, but do you want someone
Money spells too.
Fake? It's fake. It's not real love because they're under the spell. They willingly didn't want to be with you. Do you want that?
I mean, yeah, that's what boggles my mind. You really want to be with somebody, and okay. So on that conversation right there, hold it. I was thinking earlier today, I wanted to talk to you about it. I was like, I want to talk about it on my show. How a spiritual leader has to carry themselves sexually when they're trying to attract someone, because our gifts are so potent that someone can feel our high energy, and we can actually attract a person, a mate that's not for us. And spiritual leaders that abuse that.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that's possible, but I'm saying that our natural pheromones will give off and attract people that.
You know what? Shout out to you. Shout out to Cosmic Clown. You know what? Do you know people don't really know what pheromones are?
Yeah, no, they're clueless. And it's not their fault.
Yes, it's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's not. We're teaching them. For those that don't know, pheromones are a high level of hormones that you're born with. It's natural selection. That's why some people tend to gravitate. It does not matter how ugly the person is either. It ain't got nothing to do with looks. Let me tell you, it's got everything to do with the scent that a person gives off. It's like, for example, when a dog is in heat, it puts out a scent, and all kinds of animals come to that. That's what a pheromones does. And for those that are born with it, you got to be very careful on who you sleep with, who you mate with, and who you come across.
Definitely. Yeah, no pun intended, right? But yeah, the thing is, pheromones. I mean, they're released through our pores, and sometimes you're not even thinking of sex or sexual. It's just that you were working out or whatever, and it comes through. And certain people are drawn to a specific type of pheromone because you might not attract the person that you like. You might attract someone that's totally not your type of this kind of person.
Like I said, a lot of dogs come to the yard.
Yeah, they're there for the milkshake, baby.
Yeah, be careful. Don't shake your milkshake. Don't bring the boys to the yard.
Yeah.
Yes, no, but I believe that it's our responsibility to take time to get to know people, if they actually like you for you or just for your scent, because the scent can be very addicting. Also, someone that knows how to handle scent. I just feel like, I don't know, that's weird. I get into science when it comes down to that, because there's men, because just like, for example, I have a high level of pheromones. That doesn't mean another woman 10 blocks away from me doesn't have them either. You know what I mean? And or she could just have a little bit less than me, and then she could throw that ass to someone that's with me and get the same kind of attention he gives me, because he can smell her too.
Plus, it's distinct. It's different from yours. It's like I said. I mean, I've been attracted to women who, they weren't trying to hit on me or anything. It's just their personality, the way they carry themselves that drew me to them. Like, I'm like, this woman is so freaking sexy. And it wasn't because she was bearing her skin or anything, and she wasn't throwing herself at me. It's just the way she spoke, the way she walked, her voice, the smile, and the fact that she paid attention to what I was. The fact that she was very compassionate towards other people.
So do you think it's a different sense? Do you think that, like, oh, well, I'm barely getting all these downloads right now. We all carry different formulas. Maybe, like, let's say there's 7 types of pheromones that are given onto the human race,
well,
that attracts you to a certain kind of dogs, you know what I mean, or kind of like how owls are attracted to owls. You don't see an owl out there trying to pick at a pigeon. He's out there looking for another owl.
Exactly, bingo, cowabunga.
Just saying.
The woman that is ovulating is different from the woman who's not ovulating. The woman at middle age is not going to produce the same pheromones that a woman in her 20s is going to produce, vice versa.
And my friends, that's why Lisi the High Priestess is not at the clubs, because I'm not competing against these new little pheromones walking around. Their things are a lot more potent than mine.
Keep in mind that I agree. Pheromones have a lot to do with it, but it's only a slice of the pie. You
That's
have to
true.
deal with personality.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are some women that I find attractive, and it's not just because of the way they look, right? It's just the way they think. That is a turn on. Versus someone who looks good and has a high level of pheromones coming out of their nose, but they open their mouth and, oh my gosh, like, I got to get away. You know what I mean? Like, it's a difference. It's personal.
Yeah, because I guess it's like when you do you know that a lot of serial killers tend to be very charismatic and very beautiful people and stuff like that.
Oh, you're describing the devil. Yes, of course.
Yes, just like they come as angels, they also come as the devil. Okay. And it can and so it's important for us to, I believe, cleansing yourself a lot, so you can have a certain level of pheromones that aren't too potent into the world. I'm not saying to decrease your energy or anything like that. I'm saying is to maintain control when you're out there in the public, because you can attract the devil just like you can attract angels.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't have that problem because I'm a recluse anyway. I don't hang out with a lot of people, very few. But if I did, like when I'm in a band, I'm touring, or if I'm in the
I get sick, my friend. I get sick when I think I was telling you this. I get sick around a lot of crowds. When I was younger,
yes,
I could be around a lot of crowds. I love being in the crowds. Now I'm just like, by 3 hours, I want to throw up.
Yeah, I hear you. I get nervous or I get anxiety. Not all the time. I used to be really bad about it, like being in restaurants, or like I wanted to enjoy the meal, but suddenly I would feel like I wanted to puke or something. And I had social anxiety for many years. So I understand people who suffered with that.
Do you think it's because we're spiritual people that we use our divination and stuff like that? Because I was looking into that, and I was like, because I don't want to talk about this. I'll talk to you about this privately, because I believe that some things can actually get you spiritually attacked if the wrong person is listening to you. That's what we're having a conversation about too. That's why I'm like, some things I'm not into teaching some people, but also it's like helping without helping. Like, I could nudge you to the way, but I can't tell you the formula, because the formula isn't meant for everyone, because everyone can't handle. I believe people can handle ego, and people can handle power, and they can't handle money, and also respect, most importantly. Because there's people that won't believe you.
Yeah.
No matter how right you are, they will not believe in you, and they will belittle you.
Well,
very important people too. It'd be very important people, but just for every important people, there's another important person that's saying, "Hey, what you're doing," like you were saying, it's God's work. And then you'll have somebody else on the other side that will tell you, no, it's the devil. And both the devil and the angels can smell your pheromones.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. I mean, bringing this up, and it's a very important word. Is to highlight the key word is it's because of ego, and people don't like to be outshined. Like if you're shining, they want to make it all about them. They don't like that you know something they don't know about. And I'm like, excuse me, it's just that I'm not acting like I know everything. It's just that I started this when I was a toddler, okay? Like into my teenage years and my 20s. Like, it's not my fault. I experienced it. I feel like, trust me, I argue with God. I've told him before, I didn't sign up for this.
You know, like I was telling God the other day, I was like, please don't ever have me have a Jesus. Like, at least let me have sex or something. One time when I was like, I felt all nauseous, like I was pregnant. I found out someone was pregnant, but I was getting the pregnancy hormone, like, they're feeling. And I was like, dear God, I was like, please, I don't want a Jesus. I don't want a Jesus. I was just joking, though, God, I'm just making Jesus jokes today, but shout out to Jesus.
God sometimes tells us, hey, I'm sorry, but you did sign up for this, and here's a reminder. And I'm like, damn, that's humbling. That's very humbling, because people think, oh man, you think you're all that because you're a healer or psychic or you know how to do this and that, and it's not even, they don't even know me to judge me like that, and they don't know my private moments with God when I'm talking to God and I'm upset, and I'm like, I don't want this. This has brought nothing but grief, nothing but bad luck.
And meanwhile, the people that are bragging about it, putting themselves in danger, putting their family in danger, they get to live the good life. But we all know that comes with the price at the very end. At your highest moment, you will drop.
They will be humbled because there's people that just want the limelight. They're doing it for the wrong reason. They say they're spiritual, but are they really? Like,
are you?
Look at.
Are you? That's the real question for any spiritual leader out here. Are you really? What are you really doing with the gift that was given to you? Is it just $25? Is that what your divinity is worth? For someone that
yes.
No, I'm just saying, like, sometimes, like, weighing out the options of becoming like Walter Mercado. For example, Walter. Shout out to Walter Mercado, okay? Shout out to Walter Mercado. Rest in peace, an angel of blessing, Puerto Rico, okay? Latinos were raised on Walter Mercado, los 12 corazones, los 12, con mucho, 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 mucho amor, okay?
Yeah.
Well, he was do you know that there's a movie on him on Netflix on his life? He brought back a bird alive actually being dead. And that's how, as a little child, he became famous. But let me tell you what happened to him. His best friend happened to be his lawyer, his manager. And he knew that he trusted him so much, being a psychic, being a spiritual leader, thinking about love and kumbaya and all of that. And he robbed him for many years for all of his money, with all due rights, on a piece of paper, on a contracted signed paper. One of the best men. That's why he stopped doing the readings on Univision, on all of that. My heart goes out to him and his family. And he went through 7 years, my friends, fighting to get his money, to get his name back, because this man was monetizing on every single thing. His best friend, and that was a psychic. And I just want people to know that. Just because we're psychics does not mean that someone will not prey on your divinity.
Because I know what you're talking about, because it's like having your best friend secretly talk you out of marrying this guy that you love, and then only because she wants him.
And she ends up marrying him. You got to be careful with the people that you keep close to you. Not everybody is your friend. Or best friend. Because let me tell you, that's one thing I have learned in this game. Don't ever try to take Lisi, the high priestess, for no fool, because I'll play along with your ass.
Exactly.
No, but pay attention to your intuitions. And sometimes, you have to pass a couple of tests before you find out who your real friends are.
Oh, yeah. That happened to me. And you know what? Now
it has happened to me too, my friend, because I saw the best in the person. That's also what I want to talk about lovers. Well, I was telling you about the black magic and all of that, like not doing love spells. because then they want to learn who you are. And once you guys separate, once you guys are not together, everything you have taught them will be used against you because of an emotional feeling.
Yep, they can't handle it.
They can't handle not being under your spotlight because they've been eating out of your divinity this whole time.
That's why I want, if I ever meet someone, it would have to be someone who's already complete and healthy and stable. I don't want
I don't believe it exists, my friend. I've sat here. You know what? I need to go out there in the world and do the same experiments you're doing on love, because nowadays you can get on a show and they'll pay you some money to look into your lover's phone, and many breakups happen. I've only seen a very few ones.
Yeah. Well, it's just, look, I built my intuition to the point where I can tell. Like, I can tell if the person is genuine and stuff, and if they're actually ready, But it's because I've worked on it. Like, there's all these things I've done over the last few years, and I made my fair share of mistakes, and I would go back to the drawing board. And what helped me is checking myself periodically. Like, okay, am I being this way? Am I organized? Am I striving for perfection? I would take my compass.
Oh my gosh, my friend, you're so much better than me, because my drawing board was my red lipstick, okay, and my black hair, and I don't give a fuck. I believe, yes, us high priestess have to hold us to a certain level, but when have we forgotten who we really are?
Yeah.
No, I really believe that loving yourself and loving what you were divinely gifted is important. Celebrating it, sometimes not with the world, but within yourself, by yourself, when you're in a small group setting. Those are the most beautiful moments you can really have, versus to the whole world that's just going to make a spectacle of something so beautiful, so sacred, that is only supposed to be shared amongst the few.
Amen to that. Perfectly said. I couldn't have said it better myself. It's so true, It is. It's very true.
It really does suck that we end up getting the devil and the angels can be attracted to you, and it can become very deceiving. Don't forget that the devil does come as an angel, because he is an angel.
Oh yeah. That dude doesn't really like me, but
as long as I don't bother him, I don't go out there fishing for him. People be out here fishing for him. I'm like, I don't need Satan driving my car. That man is going to hit the curve. He's going to bring it back with no gas, okay, and a couple of tickets running the red light. All right. Yeah. I done let Jesus take the keys. He pays his insurance. There's no suspended license. He fills up the tank. Why do we let the devil take our car? That's for you ladies that have your man dropping you off at work and he's not working at all. Are you women?
Right, yeah.
Why are you letting the devil take your car on a Saturday night without you?
It's funny because speaking of, we're talking a little bit about relationships and who to trust and stuff. I think that we're dealing in an era also where people are just so restless. They don't know what they want, and they're always looking for the next best thing. Like, say a guy finds you and you like him, he likes you, and you think finally I found the guy, the right guy, but he's still browsing through Facebook. He's still going on Tinder, and instead of being tender, he's looking on Tinder.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of girls, like, they post up in a relationship with, and I see the picture, I'm like, oh, another fuckboy. Here we go again. Sure enough, 6 months later, they're talking smack about the guy, and now they're in another relationship.
I don't like that. I learned over the years not to do that. Like, don't talk shit about your exes. Don't do that. I want to say that right now. Don't talk shit about your exes. It makes you look bad. Like, you could talk about your experience, but talk about that later after you guys have surpassed the ugly stage. Because
why make it public though? Why even talk about it publicly? Like, do you think the world revolves around you, that everyone cares? Like, that's private.
Okay. Now that you're talking about that, okay. I have seen that you completely disagree with the Jada and the Will Smith thing, okay? And I don't agree too much. I feel like it's okay. Why they're stars. People are going to know their fucking business anyways. They're already all in their shit. Might as well have control of it. But I do agree with you on one thing as far as Will Smith is allowing it.
Yeah.
I do, and this is all allegedly, so we ain't getting in trouble.
I agree with it totally. I mean, like some stars we don't know because they actually know how to keep things private. Like Bruce Springsteen and some of these other guys, they don't really make it a point to talk about their marriage and not to say they have problems, but a lot of Hollywood couples have problems, but they don't air it out. Their dirty laundry in public. They keep it private, and the only time we find out about it is when they're divorced.
That's true.
We hear about it. I personally, I only disagree because I'm monogamous. I don't like the thought of sharing my person with anyone else and vice versa.
Oh my gosh. But in this kind of world, polygamy and everything is the new thing. It's just kind of like, do I really have to swim in a pool full of piss and shit?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I
don't want somebody else's shit on me.
I don't. I mean, it's my personal thing, right? Like, I believe in, like, because if I fall in love with someone, and I have in the past.
Who hasn't been in love? Shout out to anyone that's in love. It's hard work and dedication and commitment. Exactly. Blessings to you. Blessings to you. I support breakups and divorces. I also support unions, love, and connections. Okay. And sometimes I do believe some people need to be a little hoe. But balance, okay? Don't hold too much. No.
There's a country song that used to go, I like my women a little on the trashy side.
No, there's some people that like that. Don't get me wrong. I just, I believe that everybody holds themselves to a certain standard. But we've been on here for about almost an hour and 10 minutes.
Oh wow.
So we're gonna have to cut this short. Go check out Cosmic Cloud with a K on Facebook. Press like. I'm all subscribe.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. Cosmic Cloud on Facebook. I need to update it, and I will be adding some new content. I also have a coffee talk called the Jitter Bean on YouTube. It's going to be on the Cosmic Cloud YouTube, as well as other surprises coming up. I've just finally catching up to some work, and I will be updating it. I've been doing this solo all this time, and
it's hard work, my friend. It is very hard work because I have done everything I have done all by myself, and I tell you what, it's a lot of work and dedication, and it's a lot of time, a lot of mental work, a lot. Shout out to you for your hard work. Shout out to you.
What you're doing. I do appreciate what you're doing. I understand you because we're both entrepreneurs and we're both helping people heal in various ways and spreading the message of love and sharing our points of view, our personal points of view. I mean, I know not everyone will agree with us, but it's a different perspective,
Yeah. Well, I just want to give thanks to Jesus for doing what he had to do for the future, whether it's in the Bible or not, or just through his actions, because tomorrow he's going to be up in that cave. He's going to be going downstairs, basement, okay? Please let Jesus drive the car. He has insurance. He doesn't drive drunk, okay? Jesus needs to be your designated driver, okay? Shout out to Jesus. Yes, and thank you for the Most High for letting this interview happen the way it did. It was such a blessing to be alive in these times. And shout out to anyone that's watching, and thank you for your time.
Hey, thank you. Thanks so much, Lissy. God bless you.
God bless you too.